This is a demo to show the functionalities part of 4Construction add-on. As part of 4Construction solution, we have new customized and developed functionalities, setups and new forms, and also new custom fields in standard functionalities of project management and accounting. Our new functionalities can be accessed from the new module construction. But since the limited time of this video, we will see only the main functionalities with high interest for the process. One of the main functionalities is the bill of quantity. The construction businesses operate with multiple projects in the same time, and one of their needs is to standardize their activities. Since the activities in the work breakdown structure of the projects are similar, they can create a bill of quantity, or also known as a norm, with the components required to perform the activity. This helps the construction business to standardize their activities, know what components they need to perform the activity, what quantities, and in this way to be able to provide the budgeted cost and offering a sales price to their customers. And this bill of quantity can be used and assigned to different projects and adapted to the needs of the project. To create a new bill of quantity, we need information for the name. Bill of quantities can be organized in groups if we have multiple bill of quantities. We need to define the unit of measure, which is the unit of measure of the activity itself. And it's important in this table to define the per series. The per series is the quantity for which of the activity for which the components that we will see will be defined. And the second part of the form, as you see, is divided in 5 fast tabs, which is organized based on the different type of resources used in the construction business. It can be human resources, machine resources, materials for the items, subcontractor, and other expenses. For each bill of quantity, so for each activity, we define what type of resources we need and their specific quantities. The subcontracting is used for activities that are not performed by the company itself, but by a third party, the subcontractor. And in this case, separate items are created in the system as normal items or services and linked in the work breakdown structure. Let's say in our example, for our activity, we need human resources, and we can define in the under human resources tab what type of category. As we see in the drop-down list, are filtered automatically only project categories with transaction type hour. We define the quantity, in this case, number of hours needed to be performed, the base cost price, which is for 1 unit, and the system calculates the totals and the sales. In the same way, we can add additional type of categories for the same type of resource. Here in the header of the table, we can see some other fields. The cost multiplier is a percentage that we want to apply to the base cost price in order to better calculate our budgeted cost. The profit can be applied to calculate the sales price as a percentage to apply to the sales, to the cost price for the calculation of our sales price. These are the same in all the other type of resources. The complexity coefficient is used only for resources that are measured in hours, so in human resources and machine resources, is an addition to the standard quantity to calculate it. What is the quantity needed based on a specific complexity coefficient. The values entered here in these fields can be applied to all the lines under the same resource type or only to the selected lines, and we click Apply, Update Selected Line. In the same way, we can enter machine resources or other type of resources needed for our activity. And when all the information is entered, the bill of quantity can be approved and assigned to the work breakdown structure of the different projects. Same bill of quantity can be assigned to in different projects since it is related to the type of activities performed. This can be done directly from the project card. Select our project. Under the plan section, we have our functionality assign bill of quantity, where we can see the work breakdown structure of our project. We need to select the activity to which our bill of quantity will be assigned. And here in bill of quantity ID, where we can filter and select the bill of quantity we need. Automatically, the system will populate the details with what we have entered already in the bill of quantity. Here you see the information is the same, organized in 5 fast tabs as it is in the bill of quantity based on the type of materials. Automatically, the system has calculated the quantity needed for each category, each specific component, based on what we entered in the a standard quantity in the bill of quantity and on the quantity defined in the activity itself. We can assign the bill of quantity as it is to this specific activity of the project or make changes if we need. When we are ready, the information is transferred to the work breakdown structure of our project. If we go, it is automatically transferred and it is automatically published the work breakdown structure. If we check the details of our activity, we see now they are populated with what it is entered in the bill of quantity, that type of categories, quantities, and other information. Another customized field, if we open again the details, here we can see a customized field, which is the vendor account. This will be used for activities that will be performed by a subcontractor. In the activity details, we need to define all the items and work that will be performed by the subcontractor together with information for the vendor. Who is the vendor, the subcontractor that will perform this work? And this is one of the other main functionalities of the construction add-on. Part of the construction processes are done by third parties, by subcontractors. In our solution, this will be maintained with a specific functionality to report the work executed by subcontractors. The first step is to create first a purchase agreement for each project and each subcontractor. And let's open one agreement that we have existing in the system. Here, our purchase agreement will be linked to the project. And in the purchase agreement lines, we'll have information same as in the activity details, with activity number, quantities, and values defined between the construction company and the subcontractor. For each line, there is a relation to the activity number. Here in the purchase agreement, in the functions, we can see a new custom function, retrieve lines from work breakdown structure. This is used when creating a new purchase agreement. The system will automatically suggest all activities of this project that have in the activity details information linked to this vendor that we have selected in the purchase agreement, and the user can select the lines that he needs to include in the purchase agreement and automatically copy them in the purchase agreement lines without entering one by one. After we have our purchase agreement, periodically the construction team needs to report the work performed by the subcontractor. This can be done under the vendor report functionality. The reporting is done in project level, in vendor account level, and purchase agreement for specific dates. When we filter, the system shows us all information based on of the work activities in the work breakdown structure linked to this project and to this agreement. What is the quantity in the agreement and amount, and what is the already reported quantity. Here we can see the quantities divided in different statuses because it is possible to track if the quantity has been received and invoiced, or it is only created, reported by with a vendor report. Here the user will enter the finished quantity based on the measurement sheets done in the site. And generate data. In the moment the data is generated, the system will automatically create a purchase order linked to our project ID and to our purchase agreement. And when we try to filter again, we can see the updated values. The purchase order, based on the status of the purchase order, I retrieve this information in created quantity if it is only the purchase order is only created and confirmed, reported if it has been received, and invoiced if we have already purchase orders in previous periods that are invoiced. In this way, the user can track the progress of the work breakdown, the progress of the works done by our subcontractors. Another important functionality is under work items activity execution report, which is used to track and report the work done at activity level of the work breakdown structure. This is to track the status of the project and includes all activities, all performed also by the company itself. The report is done again in project level and for a specific date. When we filter, the system will show us all the work breakdown structure of the project based on its hierarchy. The quantities that are defined in the work breakdown structure, which is again a customized information in the project plan or in the work breakdown structure form, which is a quantity agreed for this specific activity, and we can see what has been already reported and report the finished quantity for this date. And the report can be done for one or more or several activities in the same moment and generate the data. With an additional setup that is in the system, it can be activated the option to generate automatically project journals. So in this moment that we click generate data, the system can generate hour or and item journals based on the details of the activities that we reported. If for an activity we have, let's say, some hour categories and also some items defined, the system will generate both an hour journal and an item journal with the quantities calculated based on this that are consumed, based on the quantities in the activity details and the finished quantity that we reported for the activity. But these journals are in not posted status, and the users can make modifications based on the real consumed quantities. And another important functionality is the variation orders. Projects and their work breakdown structures are subject to changes during the time, and the variation order is a document that is used to amend the contract and to track the changes that happens. Changes that can be in quantity, in budget or in sales price, or in addition adding new activities in our work breakdown structure. The variation order we create first. They are always linked to the project itself. Variation order ID is based on a number sequence set up in the project with a date and in the details. It's important to define what is the variation type. So based on the type of change, we can select from the drop-down list if it is a change in the price, in the sales price, if it is a change in the quantity of the activities, if it includes adding a new activity. We are selecting to add a new activity. We select the activity number in this case, which will be the parent activity, and generate. We need to enter, in our case, a name for the new activity. We can link it again to bill of quantity to automatically populate the activity details, or enter them manually. Unit of measure, and in this case we will enter the quantity. In the variation order lines, we will enter the information for the activity details. So what components we need to perform this activity. The quantity to perform it and the cost. And in the same way, we can enter other required components to perform the activity. Notice that the fields that are enabled or disabled in the form are based on the variation type that we selected, because not all the fields can be changed with for each of the variation types. When we are ready, we transfer the variation order, and the variation order functionality is linked to a workflow functionality. So we can submit the variation order for approval, which can be with one or several steps based on the company needs. And in the moment the variation order is approved by all the steps defined in the workflow, all the changes are transferred automatically in the work breakdown structure of our project. And the work breakdown structure is automatically populated. The changes are transferred in activity levels or also in activity detail level based on the type of variation order that we have selected. These were all the functionalities that we have planned to show in this demo due to the limited time. And thank you.